Data seems to be everywhere these days. We've got smart TVs, internet-connected lighting, but what about coffee equipment? Surely no good can come from sticking computers in our espresso machines. Or can it? Let's take a look right after this. Hi, it's Adam here from the Coffee Science and Education Centre at 7 Miles Coffee Roasters. Today we're talking about what's known as coffee telemetry. Simply put, they're systems that collect data from coffee equipment and then allow us to monitor what's happening either locally or from any location in the world. But why would you want to do that? Well, for coffee professionals, there are a number of ways that this information can be useful. Well, let's first think of the barista. No matter how good a barista is, they can't taste every shot. And waiting for customers to give us honest appraisal on the coffee, it can be kind of hit and miss. It's essential then, for the effective operation of a cafe, to find a recipe. Now, a recipe is a target of coffee dose, shot volume, and extraction time. Typically, that's been found to adhere to a flavour that we want. Now, this recipe can then be used as a quality control target. Unfortunately, during busy times of the day, even processing these three targets can be nearly impossible. In comes telemetry. Telemetry systems track every single shot according to these recipe parameters. This data is then processed real time to show how precisely you are adhering to that recipe. So with a telemetry system installed, the machine can then give direct feedback on how accurately and consistently we are to delivering the flavour outcome that we're hoping for. Now, of course, telemetry systems have been around for a while, particularly in what's known as super automatic machines. Machines like the Eversys Cameo or the Scanomat Top Brewer. They all have similar functions to what we're talking about today, and actually more built in. But this technology is not normally found in your traditional style espresso machine. In other words, the machine that most neighbourhood cafes use. Until now, that is, devices like Flow are becoming available such that they can be installed in traditional machines to make them smart. It's a bit like plugging a Chromecast or an Apple TV into your old TV. These devices plug into the flow meters of the espresso machine, connect to the local Wi-Fi, and you got data. For the last 3 months, we've been testing the Flow device in our espresso bar to see what impact this sort of data could have. We connected the little black box to the flow meters on our La Marzocco KB90 and then logged in to the online dashboard to see the data coming in. We then added the target recipes for the various coffee we serve on the machine, and then we waited to see what the results looked like. Now, we learnt a few really interesting things. Firstly, we weren't as consistent as we thought that we were. The second thing, of course, was that baristas are very, very competitive. Of all the fancy charts and reports, the number one thing that made the biggest difference or had the biggest impact was a simple consistency score, which told the baristas how many shots had hit the recipe target that day. After a few days, the team in the espresso bar started asking, how did we score today? How did I score? And how did Max score? Did I beat Max? That sort of thing. Over a few weeks, we started to see the score steadily improve by about 20% from where we first started. Now, bear in mind, these are experienced specialty baristas working on some of the most accurate coffee equipment available. So we're very, very impressed with the potential. Another useful insight was the hourly breakdown. Very quickly, we could see that recipes were drifting from our targets at certain times of day. As conditions changed across busy periods, the system could show our team when they had to adjust the grind size or the dose to keep things on track. And you can imagine, not just for experienced baristas, but for inexperienced baristas, this could give them hints on what to correct and how to correct it and when. And that is immensely helpful, not just as a training tool, but to keep people consistent across the course of the day. Now, of course, one of the dangers is if we only start thinking in terms of numbers, we can lose those things that make us human. And of course, one of those things is taste. Machines may be able to approximate taste by numbers, but only humans can tell us if a coffee truly tastes good. And as taste is the ultimate benchmark for coffee, or for a good coffee, we always need to come back to that and let the technology and equipment do what it does best, and that is maintain the standards that we set. What do you think? Is telemetry the next big thing for espresso quality control? If you're interested in looking into what the future might hold for cafes beyond just data, we've summarised findings in our Cafe 2025 report, and that's linked in the description. Click on that to catch a look. Otherwise, I'll talk to you next time.